Yeah, no, I completely agree. I think from, obviously my perspective, I can see things differently as a coach because I sort of see I guess I don't see the business side of things as much, right? I don't see the ecosystem from a profit making perspective, or I don't
Yeah,
look at it from that sort of angle, just because I don't, obviously sort of associate with that angle. But I
yeah,
think it's a super important thing because, you look at organizations and you look at people who want to start organizations, for example, and especially with an OCE, starting an organization is probably a pretty tricky thing, right? Because, how do you even go about that at the end of the day?
yeah. Look, it's quite a tricky thing, and I think what everyone forgets is there's a lot of money involved. If you're able to put yourself in a position, your brand in a position where you can bring on investors, you can do
Mm,
funding, you can gain sponsorships to back it. It comes down to the whole situation of it's not what you know, right? It's who you know.
yeah.
And that plays a very big part in business, whether it's esports or not. But, you know, I've definitely had my times dabbling in trying to start my own esports organization. And even for myself, in the career that I've had, you know, the sales record I've had, the knowledge that I have, it was extremely hard even for me. Just being able to make people understand and sort
Mm,
of educate them that it's not a gamble, but it is a gamble. You know what I
yeah.
mean? It's quite hard to cut into your own pockets and burn cash. And I know there's a large trend going around on, OCE Twitter regarding esports. If you want to start an esport organization, you may as well just set your cash on fire in front of you and at least you get to see it burn.
Yeah.
But, that's the name of the game. And I think that's where tribute and praise is to people like Chief, Star Wolves. I'm sure I'm missing a bunch off the top of my head already,
Mm,
but, that's where praise, ground zero, there's a lot of praise for these organizations. Mind Freak, don't know how I missed that, but there's a lot of praise for these organizations. They were able to make it through the tough times and into the good times.
mm,
It's not all smooth sailing, they're always not going to be flush, but they're still here after so long of a time in an ecosystem that really chops and changes. So it's a real credit to those who can pull it off, and to those who can't, it's a learning journey because you're not the only person that's wanted to start an esports organization and it's
yeah.
failed. You're not the only one. It just is what it is, and I think that's where certain people come into play, certain roles, certain business roles, partnership managers, people that look after investors, people go out and find investors.
Mhm.
All these types of roles is definitely something that can be looked at and be presented to organizations. But look, it's just one of those things, Lachlan. It's a catch-22. You really want it and you can get it, but if it doesn't happen, it's a learning experience and you just sort of move forward from there.
Yeah, I think the experience and sort of testing it and seeing if it works, and it's almost like if you don't give it a track, if you don't give it a crack, you don't know, right? And
Correct.
I think that's
Correct.
the most important thing to sort of understand, and maybe even going in towards starting an esports organization, understanding that maybe if it's easier to have the mindset that hey, this is going to fail,
Yeah.
because you can sort of take all the hits on knowing these hits are going to come, right?
Yeah.
Rather than sort of going through the process and then having to unexpectedly deal with something that might
Hmm.
be a little bit more harder, than if you already know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
So I think it is a very interesting perspective. And